What is going on, everyone? My name is Bancroft. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are playing the new Marvel Midnight Sun, something I've been looking forward to for a while and super excited to get my hands on this game. This is a different type of video because I've already recorded the data and we're going to kind of talk over it afterwards and just kind of give you my initial assessment of the game. So before we get into the game, keep in mind there's buttons down below. Feel free to click them there for a reason, and if you especially like the content, let me know in the comments. And if it's a game that you're interested in playing or even seeing, let me know as well, and I'll continue playing this game and record it while I'm talking next time. So Midnight Suns is a game created by the developers who make XCOM. So it's more of a tactical-based game than a normal like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And much like the XCOM style, there are multiple difficulties in this game. And I was not expecting to have 3 different heroic settings and 3 different ultimate settings on top of that as well. But we're going to select normal because we have to. The other ones are locked, and we're going to go through the tutorial of today's game. And I'm going to do my best not to talk too much during the cutscenes, but definitely give my input on how I felt when I saw them, and I was super excited to see Crossbones right off the bat. I really enjoy Crossbones' unwillingness to be here right now.
You know how much I hate this hocus pocus nonsense, Faustus. Now you want to tell me just what the hell is so important?
So I did my best not to look into this game too much, except for the idea that, oh, it's made by XCOM, it's more of a card-based system. So I knew it involved Lilith, and kind of possessing like all the some of the heroes slash villains, and you as a player has to stop them. But I was not aware that it was because of Hydra.
For the Midnight Sun. Turn your merciless eyes upon us and arise.
Nice show, Doc. Next time, call Zemo. Better yet, I'll just shoot you and save us all the trouble.
Yo. Though this does make sense, it gives the game more of a bad guy side. So we have a lot of Hydra minions to fight in this game instead of possibly just a bunch of demons. Kind of like in XCOM where you start off with a bunch of like the little grays, got to the talls, eventually evolved to like the spiders and whatnot, and the more broody looking guys.
I can feel it, Rox. Trouble in the air. More innocent blood joining you soon. Head back to your magic castle. You ain't welcome here.
Johnny Blaze, original Ghost Rider. Doesn't like you either. Absolutely love that.
It's called a sanctum. And welcome or not, this is where fate has determined the Sorcerer Supreme needs to be.
Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah, happy to talk about it.
Tell fate. Answers no.
This is the secret guardian you dragged me 5,000 miles to meet?
Who's the mouth?
Mr. Stark is brash, but I assure you he can be trusted.
Wait, you seriously don't know who I am?
The fabric of magic is shifting, Johnny. The prophecy of the Midnight Sun is upon us.
Your last crusade cost me plenty. This time I intend to look after my own.
Hey pal, I don't think you understand. Things are changing. 2 + 2 no longer equals 4. Up is sometimes down, and strange here is actually starting to make sense.
Do I look like someone who gives a damn about any of that?
No, you look like you should be bouncing for the double deuce. Listen, All I know is hell's coming, and my pal here says you can help.
That's where you're wrong. Hell's not coming. It's already here. You're welcome, Robo-Man.
Iron Man?
Robo-Man, billionaire inventor, surprisingly, supposedly famous. I would have rather have seen Ghost Rider's skull for a brief moment, but,
I know what he meant.
and I assume, based on the story of this game, Ghost Rider was part of the first group. But this is the tutorial of how the game progresses, and I'll kind of loosely go over it while it's playing. In the starting tutorial, they give you 3 cards, but ultimately your hand is 5 cards, and you're allowed to use up to 3 cards per turn. And starting out, you don't get the ability to move around the map, but as the tutorial goes on, we'll get that option as well, because there's some points in this I was really frustrated that I couldn't move. But each card you activate gives you a heroism token, and some cards require more than what requires hero tokens. Like the third card in my hand requires actually 2. So you can see on the bottom right hand corner, it went up by 1 point, and it says I still have 2 cards to play left.
That was really something. Am I really gonna have to bring out the big guns for this?
And I do enjoy the fact that every time you activate a card, like, you can move naturally in the game, and sometimes it gives you advantage based on the skills, but as you can see, some cards will just naturally move you to the spot. In this case, Iron Man's ultimate kind of puts him in the center of the map. And the way it works, because now we got new enemies, we get a mix of decks, so we get to play a strange little bit as well.
Do you really believe that will
Each character has X amount of cards, and those all get shuffled in one deck, so you kind of shuffle through that deck, and then those cards allow you to act for said characters. So you can end up using 3 cards for one character, and not even touch your 2 characters at all in a match.
Then you take the extra creepy one.
gladly?
And some moves, such as Dark Strange one here, has the ability to kind of push enemies. You can either push them into other enemies or into objects.
Watch closely.
I know that wasn't your signature move.
And also, as you can tell, some of these enemies look a little bit different. Part of the tutorial, and as the game goes on as well, there are some enemies who, as soon as you hit them, will just instantly take them out with one shot. Other attacks actually do damage. You have to actually do X amount of damage to kill these enemies. These ones in particular have 10 health, and these attacks are only doing 5 points of damage. And I think Strange's ultimate does 20 or 10, so it doesn't have to kill it. And once your turn's over, you just gotta hold down the D-pad, going straight into the next turn, which would be the enemy's turn.
It appears that I'm their central focus.
And what I like about this, where this kind of changes from XCOM, is that the enemies will display who they're going to target next. So you know how to kind of maybe interact that way. And you're going to see that I'm trying to figure out in this turn, if I can push enemy far enough away, will they still be able to attack those characters? And also in here, I forgot that you could send them into objects. So I'm here trying to target these guys to make them push into another one. I just couldn't do it. So keep in mind, you can, like there, it's telling me you can hit the rock if I wanted to. So ultimately I decided just to kind of push this one back to see if it'll just do natural damage on hitting a creature. And it ends up not actually hurting them at all. And some cards will benefit your allies or your own characters to some degree. So this is a card for Iron Man that will allow him to give a barrier or some form of shielding to one of the allies.
You've done me a great favor, Bishop.
Like I mentioned earlier, I'm just trying to push this one back to see if I can hit one of these objects back here by any means. And there's nothing back there to actually hit. So all 4 of these are going to actually them to attack Strange, and this lets me know that there may not be a set range to enemies. Like, they can just move up on the aim when they want, but I'm not that far yet in the game to actually know yet.
Your efforts will never deter me.
Oh, I thought we were finished. You should bring a couple more. You'll need them. I think we pissed them off. Got a spell for that, maybe?
So pretty much it's getting to the point in the game where it's just kind of starting to clean things up.
Something along the lines.
And now's the part in the tutorial you get to use like interactive stuff, which I think is pretty cool. So if like you don't have a card that can actually work for a particular moment, you can actually use the environment to your advantage. In this case, throwing rocks.
Maybe we should just try throwing a big rock at him? Need it. You know how?
And they have to be within that bubble. And if they're not in that bubble, then you can't really do anything about that, unfortunately.
Saving this for a special occasion.
Impressive. If I'm being honest, that encounter went better than I expected.
Tony, I've been noticing a recurring gamma spike.
You see, this is why you shouldn't eat spicy food, Bruce.
Localized in the West Village, converging on the Sanctum.
Wanda.
Now, I do like the idea of the enemies coming in small waves, and so far the tutorial only covers small areas. But I'm hoping that as progress in the game, there'll be more exploration in maps, much like in XCOM itself.
Are wreaking havoc on my portals.
You don't say.
You okay, kid?
Scarlet Witch, Strange's new apprentice. It's complicated.
Yes. Are you?
Let's.
And like most Marvel games, this does not exist in the classics realm of the MCU or the comics. It's its own kind of timeline. Captain Marvel, Earth's mightiest hero. Really? It's fucking, but whatever. Strong.
Himself, but he's...
You did the big green guy proud.
I really should up my homeowner's insurance. Miss Maxim, the wards of protection, if you please.
Stephen, I can fight. I've got control now.
Then show me by activating the wards. In the meantime, in honor of our missing companion,
If I recall in the trailer, she'll eventually get taken over, but I love the element that there's gonna be probably a part where you have to fight waves of enemies with her, possibly.
No issues to report.
So here they're still kind of going more tutorials, like adding a third character, and where I have two possible cards here to use, which is one is a knockback and the other one is a Iron Man move. But you can switch through your enemy targets and your own allies as well, which I think is pretty cool. They teach you this in this one.
yes, but not while you fail to use the front door.
Hi, how about we discuss proper down landing tickets now? Guys. Fair enough.
So this is an interesting interaction. Using items in match will actually take up your heroism tokens. So you're gonna see in a moment where it's gonna talk about a redraw mechanic. So if you have a card in your hand you can't actually use, you can just cycle it out. And the reason being, it said, oh, you only have 2 tokens. So because I used the rock, I actually only had 1 token. So interesting interaction. But if you have useless cards, you can do a one-time redraw on that said card.
I know that wasn't your signature move. I'm back.
We'll have to deal with a few more, I'm afraid.
And finally, the ability to move. All you gotta do is click A somewhere. I am playing on the Xbox, but you just gotta click somewhere on the map and tell the said character to move to that location. And then you kind of can pinpoint the direction which they're looking in. And much like the rock, we can kick accounts here.
This should be good.
And from this point on, it's kind of just being more open in the tutorial.
Let me show you the way.
Just kind of clean these enemies up real quick. with one of each of these attacks.
Watch this.
Shouldn't take long. Hey, it worked, didn't it?
And here I'm just deciding if I want to do a redraw or just go ahead and end my turn. Because once you activate 3 cards, you cannot progress anymore in a turn. You have to end your turn.
Never surrender. Gamma on the move.
I still don't like your chances. These guys just keep showing up.
They are surprisingly.
So conveniently enough, these guys were in a row already, because when playing originally, I misread the move option. I thought it was only for interactions, and I didn't realize I can actually move on the map, but it seemed to kind of line up pretty nicely for me.
Save this one just for you. At least Hydra Green is iconic. If you're a low-rent mercenary, I mean. Not a problem.
And this is a situation where I could have just ended the tutorial by using Iron Man's ability, but I saw Strange's skill card, and I wanted to kind of give it a shot. It allows you to redraw. I thought it said the last 2 cards, but I didn't get that photon laser back, so it may have just been the last 2 basic cards. I'm not 100% sure where I messed up there.
It will take more than that, I'm afraid.
We're 3 of the world's strongest heroes, right? Doesn't it seem like this should be easier?
Punch this scroll stuff that went up faster. Something's up.
Yes, Hydra
But this
has
pretty much
really
will
raised
cover
their
the
field.
tutorial part of the game before getting to the
Suspicion as to how.
more openness of the game and creating your own character.
The wards. Something's blocking them.
Not something, someone.
I do want to point out, when playing, I did not notice it slowing down like that, so I'm not sure if that was just a bug or something, or maybe just the way it imported over to my computer.
Be silent.
But this really shows you kind of like what the villain's potential of.
Be still.
What just happened?
Ow. Be gone. No. A fellow daughter of Transia. You remind me of my own beloved.
In virtù Devi Shanti. Well done, Miss Maximoff. Your unique energy surprised her.
Whoa. I'm fine. What? I'm fine.
The prophecy is in motion. Lilith is still out there growing stronger each second the midnight sun approaches.
Define stronger.
If we are to have any chance of stopping her, there is only one option left to us.
I won't go back there.
We all must eventually face our demons, Miss Maximoff. However, one of us should remain behind to maintain the wards of protection.
See you on the other side.
It really doesn't sound too good, because I feel like she's exposed by doing this. And obviously I forgot to turn off notifications.
Okay, you did that one on purpose.
The fabric of magic is unwinding. We are fortunate to be here at all.
And where is here, exactly?
Salem, Massachusetts. Well,
This kind of wraps up today's episode. Hope you all enjoyed. And keep in mind, if you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments. Hit those buttons down below.
to the Abbey,
And
home of the
Midnight sun.
like I said, we're playing the Midnight Suns. So, you all have a good night, and thanks for tuning in.